What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Plot Roast. I'm your host, Mick Manhattan, joined as always by my partner on this magic carpet ride, Mr. Casey Plotz.
Oh, well, thank you, Mick. It's a pleasure as always. And thank you so much for joining us here on another exciting episode of Plot Roast, as we destroy and rip apart some ridiculous, absurd movie that one of our wonderful Patreon members decided to give us, whom I love this man. I can say that. I love him. He's got a big heart.
Great man.
He's a beautiful man. This is terrible. It's literally a dude wants to live in a toll booth. He got really excited, and he lived in a toll booth. Although the end shows that he obviously got what he wanted he got some goddamn peace and quiet.
I mean, listen, the dude figured out how to pull a boat on his IROC Z.
Well, that guy, that's Mike. Mike was pretty special, man. Mike was pretty special.
Mike, who I think is pretty much the exact thing that the Duffer Brothers went to look towards when they created Billy on the Stranger Things.
Oh, 100%. This is a group of Billies. This is just a crew of Billies. It's full of people with mullets, and everybody mumbles. It's amazing.
They had no sound on this whatsoever.
None. It was a hi-fi camera with a big sound mic that they hoped would work. And sometimes you got to hear boats and planes and lawnmowers and all sorts of stuff in the background. But how much dialogue did you hear? Not much.
None whatsoever that I could see. And in fact, I think this movie came out in 1987.
Yes.
I'm not 100% convinced it wasn't shot earlier.
84, maybe with a few cut takes. With that beautiful ending to wrap it up is really probably a year later, because it looks like a different guy. So he's got the same hat and a different shirt.
There's so much to this movie. It's so 80s, it hurts my face.
Yeah, and as far as 80s movies go, it was awful. It was real bad. It was real bad from quality. It was real bad from what they were trying to do. The shots were the only redeeming thing in this, because the kill scenes were annoying. The kill scenes were so bad. Half of them were terrible. Just awful. So initially,
what kill scenes again? What kill scenes are you talking about? You mean the 6 death scenes that happened in this? The first one that took place 2 minutes into the movie, and then the second death took place 48 minutes in.
Why does he kill the gardener who's clearly been there for a long amount of time?
Yeah, he's the gardener. They know. First of all, the whole motivation for this movie, the whole motivation for the killer doing what he does makes no goddamn sense.
No. He wants some goddamn peace and quiet. Her dad bought the land off him and apparently didn't pay him.
Yeah, just bought it and just lived there.
Bought it, but just lived there without paying him. And sitting on the dock, and the killer approaches them. They have seen him twice now and run him off and talk shit to him about how they're going to whoop his ass and they better worry about him. At one point, it's so Beavis and Butthead, because they're literally staring at each other. They come around the corner and he's gone. The killer's disappeared. And once again, we see the shanty shack room thing.
It was a garage. Let's call it what it is.
It was a
fucking shed or a garage.
Yeah, a little outdoor shed. And they can't get into it because they don't have a key, which doesn't make sense. If you own the property, you open that door. So these two guys are back and forth, yo, we're gonna kick your ass, man. We're totally gonna get you, haha. Yo, we would kick his ass. And they high five basically and then walk away. So the killer approaches them one night at the dock, and they're just paralyzed with fear until our friend in the suspenders and the cut off sweatpants just says, "Come on, man," and just jumps in the water and swims away from his friend. That guy's my hero.
Jeez, listen, there's a lot of swimming in this.
A lot of swimming.
Even at one point, and not to give too much away before we get there, but Mike hearing that his friends took the boat and they went around to go and hook up around this ravine or whatever, and he jumps in the water. He takes his shirt off, jumps in the water, and swims to them.
Yeah.
Finds them dead.
Yep.
Hears screams all the way back at the house, which he should have never left in the first place. And then jumps in the water and swims.
He has the boat. Why didn't he just take the boat back?
He just jumped in the water. And then Oh my God, there's so much wrong with this shit.
Oh,
There's so
well,
much wrong
okay.
with this shit.
So where everybody was getting high and smoking weed, this was a big deal because now we got the potentially, I'm saying 13-year-old younger brother. Basically, he's like, "Can I have a beer?" And they give him a beer and they're letting him get all messed up, but they're also screwing with him the whole time. And they're like, you don't smoke any weed. If I see you doing that, I'm going to kill you. They threaten to kill this boy a lot. As a brother, he has a lot of death threats on him, like
But
constantly.
there were way more death threats than there were actual deaths in this horror movie.
Valid. There were a ton of threats. There was a lot of ass-kicking threats, death threats, and underage fornication threats, which was really uncomfortable.
It was
because
very uncomfortable.
They treated
that was their jump scare, dude. They had more jump scares in this movie than they did fucking deaths in this movie. Because remember at the one point, like the guy's like just kind of like, first of all, holding his breath and he didn't even have the fucking snorkel on those goggles, so I don't want to hear it. First of all, I didn't even get to that. They brought a boat on an IROC Z. They opened up. They were told to go get the stuff.
That was not an IROC Z. That was a Pontiac. I think it was a Firebird or a Trans Am.
It said IROC on the side,
but it didn't have a Chevy front.
Listen, I'm not telling you why or what. I could have sworn.
Oh my God, that makes it even better, though. I hope you're right, because that makes it so much worse if they just cobbled together.
That'd be great.
Oh,
so they brought the boat. Man. They brought half a paper bag filled with groceries.
Mm-hmm.
That was supposed to be for 3 days and all their beer.
Yep.
Makes no sense.
And they open the refrigerator and it's
wait. Before we get there.
Sorry.
They also packed flippers and a snorkel.
Yes.
That's it.
So you need
like these dude bros had their guns out because the sun was out. We know it.
Yep.
This kid, they were there for 3 days, and this kid had we saw night and day, like 3 days. They were dressed in the same exact clothes the whole time. Now, I'm not
not until the last night. Last night they all changed.
The girls
different
changed.
clothes at the last party. Oh yeah, boys might have been in the same ones.
Boys have been in the same shit. That blue popped collar that the kid wore.
Yeah,
the entire time. No wonder. And the other girl that was young that he was supposed to be pushed on.
Yeah.
She wore the same clothes the entire time too.
The SWAT shirt. Yeah, she had the SWAT shirt. Yeah.
And I only knew that because she went and hid behind something and he didn't see her. And I was like, it's a completely bright white t-shirt. How do you not see this?
Coming out and sees a slumped body on the fucking pier.
Stabbed.
And one stabbed, dead. And then the other dude hung from a tree, dead, stabbed, clearly just slumped over dead.
Blood everywhere.
It just goes, well, I'm going to have to call the sheriff on out. And Mike goes, all right, well, if you need anything, I'll be back up at the house.
And 3 minutes later, somebody took that boat out.
Yeah.
Not a crime scene. Nobody showed up.
Nothing going on. We take the boat out and go dick around for a little bit.
Let's face facts. They blew their entire fucking budget on that ambulance scene, which is literally just people getting into an ambulance and the boat probably.
Well, the boat was probably big spend, or I'm thinking it was that soundtrack. Man, whoever that band was, because those were entire songs.
Voyager. Their name is Voyager.
Voyager. Those were entire Voyager songs. This was basically an album release with what was an attempt at a slasher.
You want to know how I know?
How do you know that's Voyager?
Because I did some math during this, Casey. I did math during this. And I really wanted to know because there's 4 scenes in this movie that take entirely too long. They do not push forth the plot in any way, shape, or form.
No, sir.
There is nothing that pushes forth. And those 4 scenes, I did the math on how long they are. Water skiing scene starts at 24 minutes and 50 seconds, ends at 34 minutes and 28 seconds.
With her screaming about a snake
that passed her. A snake swam past me, and I hate snakes. And it's like, fucking, so do I. But
they can't bite you in the water.
What?
And you're about to water ski, yo.
They're leaving.
They're going away.
He's leaving you. He's not even by you. The second scene is the quarter scene.
Oh man, the quarter scene was incredibly long, and it's all about just trying to get a girl drunk to have intercourse.
The wrong girl. That scene is 6 minutes long. It's just them playing quarters, talking random shit. It furthers the plot in no way, shape, or form. They don't talk about anything because immediately after that scene, they all get up from the table and go in the living room. And the blonde-headed dude with the suspenders says, "Oh, I forgot to tell you." And then he's talking about like what could possibly be the killer. And I'm like, you just did a 6-minute scene of them playing quarters, no music. No, nothing.
Yeah, no ambience at this point. We've had music through everything. There's some fucking video game music at one point.
Oh my
When
God.
we're following the killer at one point, it sounds like it's Danny Elfman doing a video game version of this, like Danny Elfman recording Zelda. And that's what it was like watching him for a little bit. And I'm like, this does not fit. They have ruined and taken me out of it in even worse ways because this isn't even logical. Where did this come from? Like they tried to get the Friday the 13th or a John Carpenter like sound, and they were so wrong. They were so wrong. It was just so way off.
All right, let me ask you this. You know that boat ride scene with the guy and his girlfriend at night, which you can't fucking see them the entire time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a lot of fun being able to catch glimpses. It was like watching Game of Thrones in the Battle of Winterfell.
Yeah, it's true. All right. How long do you think that scene was? Just take a guess.
Look, I'm not going to lie. I skipped ahead a lot at that point. So, like, I had to keep skipping back to be like, oh, I missed a kill scene. But I'm pretty sure that one got up to about 5 minutes.
4 minutes.
It really? That's shocking. I thought it was longer.
It does. It feels so long.
Mm-hmm. They take a while to get it on, and it's very uncomfortable.
It is.
And weird. And then it is, okay, small highlight. And Sturdy, you got one. That was a cool moment when he slit the dude's throat and the blood is getting on the girl.
Yeah, that was cool.
You had one that was done very well. And actually, when they do it from the POV and it's all terrible, like whatever camera they're using is just in redshift, and all it is like a weird red pixelated black thing happening with the video there with whatever VHS effect they did on their camcorder. Dink. That was neat. That was enough to make me go, okay, I see what you're going for. It was one of the few well executed parts, and the music almost synced up.
Almost.
It was so close.
There was a fourth scene that made no sense, and it was a montage for no reason.
Oh yes.
And that came at the end. It was the dry lake scene, which obviously they dammed off the lake, and then months later came back and was like, "All right, let's film." Which was stupid and made no sense, and it sucked. And that was 3 minutes long.
Well, that part was great because it was the end. The music was perfect for it. I was absolutely done with that movie at that point. But the fact that this guy, this killer, got exactly what he wanted. He got his house back because he's murdered everyone else. Nobody's coming around there. They've dammed the lake, so it's no longer going to be worthwhile for anyone to go to. He gets his peace and quiet. I don't understand how long everything was. Like for the credit intro, even him driving the Pontiac to the location was long as crap.
Yeah.
That was another whole song. We got the Strong Voyager intro.
There was one, because you remember when you watched Night of the Living Dead, George Romero did it perfectly. The dreadful music is playing, you see the lightning in the sky, you're looking down this long road and you're seeing a car winding down, and it's freaking you out because as it gets closer and closer, the music gets louder and louder and swells, and everything is timed perfectly. Blood Lake doesn't know what the fuck it's doing because it didn't do that at all. All it did was it played a Voyager song and just pointed that camcorder right down the road, and you see the Ironic Z with the boat coming up, and you're just like, and then it passes, and you kind of turn.
Wow, yeah,
it's like, come on, that's something.
And everyone was happy in that car, like in the Legend of Billie Jean. I felt like we were getting some sort of
so you can say Blood Lake is like the Legend of Billie Jean. At the beginning, you might be a little happy, but it's going to go very south, very fast,
real fast, and it's not going to be fun for anyone along the way.
Yeah.
The murder scenes were terrible. I mean, they just really struggled with the kill scenes. It wasn't great. They had one good one, and then everything else was the same. Just this dude sticking people in, one spot over and over again. Like, get a new thing, bro. Like,
I
the
think
one guy, he doesn't even fully drown him. He
no,
pulls him out of the lake to stab him in the same fucking spot.
he wanted that stabbing done. He wanted to get it done.
God, oh, he's got him a good stabbing point, and then he can handle some stabbing too. Because let's not forget, Jed gets faced into the wall by Mark, our hero, and then
Mike
stabs him like Mike. Sorry, and then stabs him like 9 times.
Yeah. Oh
and
my
dude's
god,
fine,
dude. From poor fucking Becky too.
Yeah, Becky's just hanging while he's like all about stabbing this chick or this dude, Jed, and she's back there hung, stabbed, just bleeding out. And his reaction. Oh my God, his reaction. Okay, when he pulls her down, sorry, I had to write this down because the whole time Becky's death sounded more like she had overdosed. He's doing this like, oh shit, oh no, oh man.
Yeah,
oh,
like it's an inconvenience that this happened to her.
Like, oh, Becky,
you should have known that was baking soda. It was just
what were you
a joke.
thinking? Like he's doing the oh god damn it, like he has to bury the body. His reaction.
I like how the cop never blamed him either. The cop like was on it, or not the cop, like the fucking whatever. It's
the same guy, but he should put a badge on, and they called him sheriff.
He put a fucking badge on, and now he's the sheriff. It's the same guy in the same outfit. He didn't even change outfits. He just straight up came back with like a badge on.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm the sheriff now.
None of which should have made sense or was any good. I was so pissed listening to that.
That's why it's Blood Lake.
But he comes in. When he first came in and they're showing the bodies, it's the most awkward fucking conversation. First of all,
oh, geez. Well, it looks like I'm going to have a problem here. Hey, that's Jed.
He doesn't even get picked up. Like, his voice doesn't get picked up on the microphone.
Yeah.
At what point does the filmmaker say, ah, shit, I didn't catch you on that? You have to rewind the tape. Like, that's all you got to do. Like, are you running out of spots?
When he first shows up, you can't hear him at all.
At all. You don't know what he's doing there.
Well, blonde kid Beavis, when he shows up, you can't hear him either. Like, Becky's having this conversation with Beavis and Butthead, and they're like, yeah, totally. But what they sound like is, and then Becky's like, oh, I understand that. Yeah, it sounds like it's from over there. It's weird as shit. Very problematic.
It is so problematic. So, and then I love the fight between the two friends. Like, there's a killer out there. They know people are being murdered horribly. The cops showed up. They clearly didn't show us, but somebody had to show up and get those bodies out of there. So you're
because the bodies are gone.
Everybody knows what's going on. And the dude's like, I need some privacy with my girl. And they're like rolling out. And then him and his friend get in a fight for 3. First of all, everything that made no sense in this movie lasted longer than that fight did. And the whole fight should have been like the precipice of like, I can't let you go. And then like maybe a fist fight encounter. And then he just bails out of it, which makes no fucking sense anyway. But he did it. I hate it. I fucking hate it. But it's 59 terrible. Minutes.
That fight was dumb. That fight was so stupid and pointless. And it was just they get outside. So he and Kim are outside now. And not Mike is still inside with Becky. And so he and Kim are outside, and he's like, I'm just so pissed. I just need to take a minute and light this joint. Like, because the whole thing is they're the stoners.
Yeah.
And it's like not cool to be a stoner, because if you're a stoner, you can't fuck. Like, that was like a whole story that Mike gives to his younger brother and his best friend about why he doesn't smoke weed, because he couldn't cheat on Becky because he got high.
Yeah, you listened to these conversations? I did.
That's why I started skipping.
I don't blame
because the first half I did. Through 40 minutes, I gave this a ride. I legit, sturdy, I gave this a ride. And
he did try.
And then everything happened and I was done. I started to be like, I would skip like 30-second increments because you can watch it for free on Tubi. So I'm skipping through with the 30-second going, something happened. All right, maybe I'll scroll back there and then watch 3 minutes and go, don't know the fuck I did that. Next. Oh
my God. This movie is fucking terrible. Nothing about it makes sense. The motive of the killer, again, is Becky's family bought the house from him and never paid him.
and never paid him. So therefore, Jed wants his house back and some goddamn peace and quiet. So he just kills them all.
He
That's what
really
he
wants
wants.
some peace and quiet.
That's all he fucking wants, man. He kills the gardener, who's got to be a local. Everybody knows him.
I didn't hire you. Get out of here.
Yeah, right? Like, what is that? The gardener, it's your bro that you probably do shopping with.
God, everything about it is just terrible. Sturdy's favorite
insane.
movie of all time. Blood
Clearly.
Lake. I mean, listen, guys, you should go watch Horror with Sir Sturdy.
Yes, we love Sturdy. He's got an amazing show. He recommended an absolute piece of garbage, but he is a beautiful, wonderful person, and his show is awesome. So make sure to check them out live Thursday nights.
In fairness, though, he did say this is a piece of garbage and he hates this movie. So I'm going to tell you guys, our patrons get to choose our movies for us to watch on Plot Roast. If you decide to become a patron, we're putting a ban on terrible movies like this.
We are giving ourselves a veto power. So we want everyone to be aware that if there's a movie that we achieve, like, I don't know, The Stupids or Blood Lake.
I think Blood Lake is the worst movie we've ever reviewed.
Yeah, absolutely. So at the very least, we're just saying if we do veto, we will veto publicly. And we might not be a veto forever. It might just be a couple weeks changed. We might need a break and watch something else.
We're going to have an agreement in place. The agreement's going to be one, if the killer at any point just like transports or materializes out of thin air, we're not interested. Two, if at any point any of the main characters in the movie, not even protagonists, any main character throws out like fresh groceries for no other reason but a terrible plot device, we're vetoed.
If there's any underage humping or allusion to it, or heavy discussion of people being pushed into those situations, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any water skiing, quarters playing, boat riding at night with no lights and a dry lake, we're out. And if you have Tom Arnold in your movie, keep it.
Done. I think that's fair.
Except for maybe
True
exit
Lies.
Wounds.
True Lies. Not exit wounds. Maybe exit wounds. Maybe exit wounds. All right. I'll give you exit wounds too. I like that one. True Lies, absolutely. I don't know if we'll do True Lies. It's kind of too good. I don't know if we would put it on Plot Roasts.
Brian filled in for you for The Stupids, and I think he hates me now.
Which I'm very grateful. Brian, you saved me. Paul, I love you. You go screw yourself.
I'm just going to make Brian...
I'd rather watch Problem Child on loop with my eyes pried open than deal with that.
We should do that one next. No,
that one I would be willing to do because it's got John Ritter.
John Ritter's the best.
He's amazing.
You know what's not the best?
What's that?
Blood Lake.
Yeah, no, Blood Lake pretty low on the totem pole there.
Certainly is not a good movie.
It really is not.
And I hope we've roasted it quite enough for you guys out there in Roast Lands.
With all the mullets, mumblers, and the kids with the real smart mouth.
True. For anybody who's watching this on YouTube, make sure to please hit that like button, hit subscribe. We have great shows. And if you want to watch the full uncut version of this show or more, go over and become a Patreon. We have 3 level tiers that you can join up on: the $2, the $5, and the $10. All different perks, lots of fun stuff going on. But you do get to pick on certain ones. You get to pick what movies we watch on Patreon, on the Patreon show Plot Roast. And, plenty of other stuff, giveaways, stuff like that. So check that out. You can go to thescenesnobs.com. You can join that. You can join our Discord. You can join our Facebook group. We've got tons of stuff going on. Make sure to follow, rate, review, the whole 9 yards. And as we go on, I'm going to let my good buddy... Oh, our next movie is Masters of the Universe, by the way.
Yes, we're doing Masters of the Universe next, which was recommended by me because it's my turn and I needed something fucking great. And it's one of the greatest movies of all time, and I'm so excited to destroy it for you all. So make sure to join us next time on Plot Roast. Mick, it's a pleasure as always, my friend. Thank you all so much for joining us, for checking us out, and hopefully you enjoyed and we were able to entertain you for a little bit. Remember, as always, to be kind to yourself and be kind to each other.
Can't say it better myself, so I'm not gonna. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. I'm the Scene Snob, Mick Manhattan. You can check out the Scene Snobs Podcast live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel or all podcast platforms afterwards. Also on our YouTube channel, you can check out great shows like Real Combat, the ultimate debate show for movie lovers, mixed movie picks with new recommendations every week, Geek Fest Live every Sunday night, and new movie reviews and news all the time. Like and subscribe, then hit the notification bell so you know when all of our new episodes drop. Thank you so much to all of our amazing Patreon supporters, with whom this would not be possible. They help keep the lights on and support us in such big ways. If you would like to become a supporter on our Patreon and take advantage of all the perks like monthly giveaways, early access, and so much more, head on over to the Scene Snobs Patreon page and just sign up on one of our 2 tiers. Join our awesome community of geeks, movie lovers, and so much more, and join up on our Discord. The Scene Snobs Discord is now live, and you can head over to thescenesnobs.com for links to there and more. The Scene Snobs merch store is now open with original and fun designs that are available on all different types of merch and apparel. Check out thescenesnobsmerch.com. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to all of our social media accounts like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and so many more. We have fun updates, topics, we talk about collectibles, and so much more on there. It's a great time. You can find all of our links to everything on thescenesnobs.com or on our link tree, which are down in the descriptions below. Thanks again, everyone. Stay tuned and stay geeky.